And we are back and live, and tonight we're talking to Shayna. You said Marie, right?
Shanna Maria.
Shana.
You were close.
Can't say it right. All right, Shanna Maria. Is that better?
Got it.
Okay. So, anyway, for the people that don't know you or haven't checked out your Facebook page or anything, the question I normally come out with is, what got you started and interested in the paranormal?
Ooh, that's a good question. Well, what got me interested in the paranormal is I am a born medium. I was born this way. I was born with gifts, and not that that was easy for me, but I was born with gifts. And it wasn't until 2010 I experienced a near-death accident. And that really activated my gifts in ways that I at the time wasn't prepared for. Let's just put it that way. I came back bearing gifts. Within all that, I started seeking. At the time, I had no idea what I was seeking, but I was seeking someone to help me make sense of what I was experiencing and what I was what I was experiencing and whatnot. And what really got me into the paranormal was due to my near-death accidents. Like I said, I was born with gifts, but I wasn't in a place where I was like, yeah, I'm a psychic medium. I was actually taught growing up that the experiences that I was, what I was experiencing, hearing all that wasn't happening. I taught to be quiet about this stuff. And I did. I spent majority of my life being quiet and kind of hiding in the spiritual closet, so to speak. So 2010 happened. I experienced a near-death experience. And that for me opened the doors to really the paranormal and me learning about my own gifts and abilities, knowing that I'm not crazy, but I'm gifted. And this stuff really does exist. So I went on like a 17-day trip with a paranormal group, and I needed to do that for myself. I was still out there seeking answers. I wanted to find the truth. And back up, I mean, there was so much more before that, but I will say that trip that I took changed everything for me within the paranormal. I no longer questioned. And so my curiosity and my curiosity is really what got me to seeking more of the paranormal. And I knew that I needed answers. I'm a curious being. So I just went out and I found a group here local to me, and I found a mentor, and they really brought me in, and I was able to go on paranormal investigations with them and home, investigations and stuff like that. And that's really where my love for the paranormal started to take place. I no longer started to fear it or ashamed of it. I started to, really open myself up more to it. I'm glad that I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It for people like you, it's best if you do open up to it and embrace it and accept it in.
Yes.
The way you're talking about it, it sounds like you grew up around the same time I did.
Mm.
Because I'm getting back into the practice of Wicca. I was
Mm.
a
Me
I
too.
I was a Wiccan. I was a Wiccan back whenever I was younger, and I did a lot of different ritual magics and stuff. And I found that I am also sensitive, and I can
I can feel that. Yeah.
when I put myself in the right mindset, I can actually see auras.
Mm.
So it takes a little meditation, a little concentration, but I can actually do that.
Yeah.
But because I wound up getting married, and the woman I married, it freaked her out, I kinda shelved it and never messed with it again. Now that it divorced and everything, I'm going to I'm getting back into it again to redo to re-examine the things I need. So,
Yes. That's
I
amazing.
kinda understand where you're at with yours.
You and I feel like we have a very similar path there. I too was married And my husband at that time was definitely not open. And so I really also had to put it on the bookshelf. You know, it was like my family was saying one thing and then I was married. So I really kept this stuff hidden. And it ultimately made me very sick. Like for me, when I denied this part of myself, this wasn't like the separate entity. This is who I am. And when
Oh yeah.
I tried to deny this part of me, it literally wreaked havoc within my body. So I was not only
Hmm.
dealing with the trauma part, but I was also dealing with, I have gifts. And, you know, so what's going on here? I needed answers. So I'm glad that I embraced it and I accepted it. Self acceptance, for if you're gifted, that self acceptance is is key here. It's so
Oh yeah, it
important.
is. It is.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
really, you
Like you
really
said, you're
gotta.
not crazy. You're gifted. There's a
No,
difference.
yeah, it is. There's a lot of difference.
Yeah.
See, when I grew up and I was learning it, it was mostly associated in the minds of everybody with like Satan and the devil,
Yes.
and
Yes.
being evil.
Yeah.
And the if you look at it from the aspect that I had, I was raised in a Pentecost family.
Mm. Okay.
So yeah, having that and having to deal with the church aspect of it pushing at me, it's
And
just
how
kind
was
of.
that for you? Can I ask, how was that for you? Because actually, in one part that I teach, because I do spiritual mentoring, and one part that I
Hmm.
teach is actually a spiritual block. We are a religious block, sorry. So, how was that working through that for you? Or is that something that you still find yourself working through?
Well, I've kind of turned away from the religions because I discovered that Wicca and paganism and witchcraft are all kind of married in the same realm. They're kind of all similar, even though they have different paths. They still kind of walk the same direction and do the same things because they're all magics and religion of the earth, naturals.
Yes. And
So
you're very connected to the earth, aren't you?
yeah, yeah,
Yep,
I pretty
I
much
am
am.
too. I so relate to that. And like you as a child, I found myself doing that kind of stuff. I just didn't understand, I didn't understand it was Wicca at the time. And interesting that you say that. Recently, I had one of my clients give me a book. It's the Big Blue Book. I don't know if any of you are familiar with it, but it's the Big Blue Book and it's Wicca. My whole life, I've been called a witch. I was like, what is this? But now after like reading this book, I really like opened that up because at first I didn't know. Like you said, there's such there's such a misconception. Like what I was
Mhm.
taught as, yeah, as a child growing up is that this stuff was bad. It was witchcraft. It's devil's work.
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
so the opposite of what this is. I do God's work. I don't work with the devil. I never have.
Well, no,
And
and
yeah,
another thing about Wicca is that everything, no matter what, everything has a spirit to it.
yeah. And you're
The
right.
earth has a
Everything,
spirit. The earth,
you're
the
right.
Gaia. Okay,
Yes.
that's one of the reasons I believe that we are going through what we're going through right now for this last year and continuing now is because she is fed up with us. We're her children, and we have become such disobedient little that she's trying to figure ways of punishing us and bringing us back into the fold and making us know
Yes.
that we have done wrong and we need to make amends.
Yep. Yep. It's all coming up for a reason. I just got straight up goosebumps when you said that. Spirit's way of validating. Yes, yes. And you're right. These gifts are all interconnected. All these
Hmm.
things are interconnected. Medium, psychic, healer, light worker, all these things, shamanic, all these things are interconnected. They're all very similar. People need to put labels on things. But they're all interconnected is what I found from all my research in years and even studying other religions. I grew up Catholic, So I also had to work through that religious block. Yeah,
I
yeah. I no longer practice. That is
I
my
have to
foundation, but
I
I
have
do
to
not
say I'm
practice.
sorry.
Yeah, I don't practice that.
No, I know
I
Catholics, and
could I could have been that way too,
I
but
know
my grandpa changed when they moved to America. My grandpa changed.
Mm.
He changed. He's like, no more of this Catholic, and so then we became Lutheran. So I was baptized Lutheran. So I didn't have to grow up in that Catholic world. So,
So you understand.
oh yeah, I've seen my share of a lot of things over the years, and I've even
Yeah,
seen evil firsthand. How
yeah.
to deal with it.
So how did you work through, or is that something that you're still working through? Is that religious block, so to speak?
Me,
Do you do
I don't
you do you struggle with that religious block
I
at
don't have
all?
a religious block because I don't believe in it. I
Okay.
believe I have my own beliefs,
Yep.
you know, and
That's how I feel.
I
Hmm.
mean, my mother-in-law, when I first met her before she became my mother-in-law, it was like I spent the night at her place with her daughter. I walked downstairs on a Sunday morning and she asked me if I was going to go to church with him. And I looked at her straight in the eye with a straight face and I said, if I walked into church with you, you'd believe in spontaneous combustion.
Yep.
After that. And then I
That's how
knew,
I used to feel walking
then I
into a
knew I
church.
wouldn't get along
I
with
don't
her.
know why.
No, I don't believe that here just the best way I can put it is I don't believe that I should have to go to a church and have to feel like I have to put money in a bowl to be there and to believe in Jesus Christ and so on and so forth. I shouldn't have to go to a church to believe. See, and I don't like going. I fell asleep I mean, I'll admit it. I fell asleep. You'd catch me sleeping. Fire was singing. You'd see me still sitting in that pew sleeping. I don't think so. I,
Yeah.
I don't go back to church unless it's a wedding or a funeral. You know.
Same here. Yeah, I realize. Yeah, I don't need to go to church to have those experiences. I can have those experiences right at home, actually. Like I
Mhm.
look at I know I haven't gotten in trouble for saying this yet, but what I look at like a preacher, pastor standing at the front of the church, what he is a vessel. He is a messenger from God, creator, whatever you feel.
Mhm.
Um, he's a messenger or she's a messenger. That's what I am as a psychic medium. I know I don't need to go to church to be able to connect to that source.
No, you
I
don't.
don't. Mm-mm. Yeah.
And the best part about Wicca and paganism is they don't require you to have to go to a church. Most of our temple, most of the Wiccan temple, look out the window.
Yeah.
That's our temple. The
That's
woods,
how I feel. I go to nature. Nature.
the streams, the lakes,
When I can
nature herself
when
is
I
our temple.
Yes. Oh, I agree. And water is so healing. Even sitting by
It
water,
is.
drinking water, bathing, and whatever. Water is so healing in so many ways.
Yeah,
grew up in a
that's
swimming pool, so I love water.
I do too.
and
And
I might have been a
I'm
mermaid in another life. I don't know.
I was
I'm
born on
cursed.
the water sign.
Are ya?
I'm cursed because I don't know how to swim.
No.
I never learned,
And
Really?
and
I
it's
was shocked
because
when I learned that when he
my
told me.
mother babied me so daggum much she wouldn't let my sisters or my brothers teach me how to swim.
I
Oh
learned the
no,
old-fashioned
really?
Yep.
I learned the
Oh.
old-fashioned way. I got thrown into the deep end of the pool by my uncle, and it was like swim or drown.
Yeah. I wish that
That
would have
sounds
happened
kind
to
of like
me.
my experience.
And I
Here
learned
you
how to
go,
doggy
learn.
paddle fast. I learned how to doggy paddle real fast.
Mm-hmm.
That worked too.
So you've been talking about um, being born with gifts. So what did you discover when you opened them?
Oh, that I wasn't crazy, that this stuff really does exist. My first experience that I can remember, I was 5 years old. And that's
Okay.
the first memory that I have. And actually, around that age, I had surgery right on my third eye here. So I
Ooh.
had surgery, and I was told by a shaman that I see here, um, that when I had that surgery, something was taken away, whatever that means. I feel like it activated my connection to the other side. Since I was a young child, I would have spirits come to me, and I would help them. I would help them, or I would help cross them over. I was very much, I don't know, especially as a child, I would draw a lot of child spirits to me, and
Mhm.
especially in my bedroom. My bedroom was, I felt like a sanctuary for ghosts to come. So I was visited often as a young child and at a very young age throughout my life. And for me, it was really, for me, I say one part of it was very natural, but in another sense, it was kind of scary because I knew that, other people, especially back then, people weren't talking about these things. Thank God, finally, we have these amazing
Mhm.
platforms and the paranormal investigator shows that have come to be able to open this stuff up. I'm so grateful for.
Oh yeah.
But I really struggled. I really struggled in the younger part of my life with this because I didn't understand. I didn't have anyone to talk to or to anyone to show me, hey, these things are really happening. It's okay.
A lot of the stuff that I learned from a bro, uh, a Hispanic woman who was a witch, and she was my girlfriend at the time.
Nice.
That's how I kind of started learning some of the stuff, especially the dark side, and I steered clear of that. There's no way I'm going into that darkness.
Me
That
too.
that is the worst place. It's not because it's scary. It's just that is the worst place to be.
It's not a place you want to go. And
No.
that's an interesting thing looking back on my experience of growing up. And mentoring others, there's so many of us that have experienced dark energies or attachments when we were younger growing up. Thank God, I don't think, from my memory, I don't have experiences where I grew up with those dark things, but I do know people that have had struggles with those, for whatever reason they're attached to that darkness, or
Yeah.
that darkness is attached to them. But for me, thank God, I feel like I've always drawn in kind of lighter, brighter spirits. I don't draw in so much the dark energies. Thank God. Because me going through my abuse, I was very open and vulnerable to these darker energies. Not
Right.
saying that they weren't there, right? But even though I didn't realize it at the time, since I was at a young age, I've always been in tune with my guidance. I've had a very strong conscience. It has saved my life many times, I tell you. If it wasn't for that inner voice telling me things, I probably wouldn't be here, and that's the truth.
Yes, that would be your guardian.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah, I discovered it at a younger age that I had an ability to where I can actually draw the negative energies from a person. I can literally
Mm,
draw the negative energies from them and replace it with positive energies. I can calm them down like almost
yeah.
instantly.
Yeah.
But I also learned that if I don't release that negative energy into an inanimate object and let it go,
Yeah.
it eats at me until I blow
Yes.
up.
Yes. Yes. I know exactly what you're talking about. I think that's why I've had two medical emergencies too in my life. Seriously. It's so true. It's so true.
So, what other abilities are you capable of doing?
So I'm also intuitive healer. I do energy work, like shamanic. The last 5 years,
Mhm.
I've been really delving into the shamanic side of things. I found out that I actually have Cherokee Indian. My father was Cherokee Indian. So really exploring more of that side. When we open these doors, a friend of mine once told me, and this has always stuck with me. She always said, "Girl, you don't even know half of the gifts that you have yet." And this was probably like 5 years ago or so. And I was thinking to myself, what more possibly can I have? Because I already deal with being a psychic medium. Like, what else is there? Well, there is so much more out here to learn and to
Mm-hmm.
explore. And I feel like I'm constantly learning. I'm constantly learning. I'm constantly, I don't know. I love the research. I loved being able to actually be, active in doing things. But I love learning.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I will ever stop learning.
That's pretty cool. So do
Yeah,
you?
I've really learned. For me, it's energy. I work in energy. Everything I do is in energy. So I like studied and learned energy and how it affects us and all that. And for me, that was like huge. I've been able to actually heal myself, my trauma in my life and other experiences in my life. I've been able to heal that trauma and that stuff in my life where through my spiritual connections, through my spiritual healing. So for me to be able to embrace my psychic medium has actually helped me heal my trauma. I never thought that could be possible. So for me, this was so much more than just ghosts and spirits. This was everything. This is me finding my wholeness and who I am, and once again owning that and embrasing it,
Oh
not
yeah,
feeling ashamed
definitely,
about it. Yeah,
definitely.
no,
So do you work with crystals?
I do. I do.
What's
I
your
do. I have
favorite
them
one?
everywhere. I am a big crystal. Actually, I got this one. This is a rose quartz. I dug this out of the
Mhm.
ground in South Dakota. Lots of rose
Awesome.
quartz everywhere. Yeah, I also, like I mentioned, I do energy work. So I work with a lot of crystals. I work with a lot of different, spiritual tools. But a
Right.
lot of it comes from my natural abilities.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Your
But I love
connection with the
crystals.
earth.
I wear them. They're everywhere.
Yeah, that's what I was saying though. What is your favorite one? What is the favorite that you like to work with?
Oh, the one I just showed you.
So you're a rose quartz.
I am. I'm so attached to this. Once again, I don't know if it's because I actually dug it out of the earth. It was meant for me, but this is one of my favorite. And then amethyst. I'm a big fan of amethyst. So
Amethysts are
amethyst
gorgeous.
and rose
I
quartz.
gotta find my amethyst I have a sphere about that big around of nothing but straight amethyst.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. So rose quartz and amethyst are my favorite. Those are the ones I really like to work with the most. I feel like they bring a lot of light and good energy in.
So just a quick question, another quick question here.
Yeah.
You want to tell me the story of how you discovered your rose quartz? And
How I discovered it?
yes.
Ooh. So let's see. My husband and I were on a walk. So years back, just had to, I don't even know, maybe 5, 6 years ago, we went to South Dakota and we were just driving around kind of like the Black Hills area. And we
Hmm.
actually went off trail into an area that no one was. And so it was pretty remote. We took about a couple mile hike and came across this cave. It was like this little cave. And something was calling me into this cave. Something said to go in that cave. So I ended up going into this cave. And actually, I have it way up there. But when I went into this cave, I saw this huge, it's probably like this big. It's a huge, actually, rose quartz piece and has different quartz in it. And I grabbed that and I was just so like excited about it. But then I turned around and boom, that rose quartz I just showed you was like right there by my feet. And so, like I always do, I asked, the earth if I could take it and it
Hmm.
was mine. So I took it. So I just happened to come across in a really remote area in South Dakota and came across it. So that's when, spirit tells you to go somewhere, you follow because you never know what treasures are around the corner.
You know it wasn't you discovering that quartz. That quartz discovered you.
Yes,
It
so
brought you to it.
hmm Yeah, it's a piece I use for all of my energy sessions, and it's a piece that I know my clients they just gravitate towards it. So I definitely feel the
Hmm.
love and the power from
Well,
it.
there's a good power on it. There's a very good power in it, and
Absolutely.
it drew you in from where you were when you
Yes.
guys did that. So whose
Yeah.
idea was it to go off trail?
Both of ours. We're very spontaneous. We don't like places that like touristy places. So we try to find places where tourists are not. So I just that's one thing I love about our road trips. Road trips are the funnest. We're very spontaneous. We never plan. So we at wherever we end up, it's always been amazing. So I love it. Adventure awaits. You never know what you're gonna come across. No.
True, true.
Yep.
See, that's what I love about the crystals and the formations. There the thing is with those, you never truly find them, they find you.
Oh, it's so true. It's so
Because
true.
I'll tell you a story that happened to me if you want to hear it.
Yes, I love stories.
Um, Back in 2016, me and my girlfriend and my daughter and her fiance at the time, and my youngest and my grandson, we all took a trip out to California where my parents live, and we went out there to visit them. And it was last year. This was the last year I got to see my mom,
Mm,
and we went out there, visited, and on our way back, we stopped in Las Vegas. And we stayed the night in Las Vegas. And the following morning, when we got up, got everything packed, and got ready to leave, before we left Las Vegas, we went to an In-N-Out burger. You know,
mm,
it was going to be the last time we got to have an In-N-Out for a while.
right? They're good.
They are the best. So
Mhm.
anyway, we pull in, we go inside, have our lunch before we leave, come back out, and we're getting ready to get in the van. I open up the side door on the van to get in, and I look down. Right next to the back tire is this pouch right here.
Oh, what is it?
It's just a pouch. Okay.
Okay.
Now the crystal's not in here right now, but inside this pouch was a piece about that long, a black tourmaline,
Mm.
and I know for a fact that crystal found me. It was there for me to discover and
Yes.
become a part of who I am.
I just got spirit guide.
Well,
Spirit guide.
that black tourmaline, the reason it's not in that pouch
Mm-hmm.
is being made into a ring. Along
Oh!
along with um, the opal that I've had for 34 years.
Oh, wow.
I'm having a cushion cut made from the tourmaline and two oval cuts made from the opal to set next to the tourmaline on the ring.
Well, that's gonna be beautiful. You'll have to show me when you get it made.
Oh yeah,
That's
no,
something.
it's in the process of being made now. I'm just waiting for them to call me and tell me it's ready.
Awesome. Yeah, that's amazing. Spirit guide came in for you. So I don't, let me, I, that's so interesting. Rings, talking about rings. So it doesn't have a stone, but it's sterling silver. Actually, it's a
That's
spoon ring. I don't
mhm.
know if you can see it, but it's an old spoon ring. I think I was 10 years old. It was actually the Target on Lake Street. My mother and I went, and I remember stepping out of my car door and I looked down and something was shining. So I grabbed it and picked it up, and here it was, this ring. So throughout my life, I've always lost it, and somehow it's always found me. And so the last time I lost it, I never thought I would find it again. I thought it was gone forever. You know, we moved, and I thought it was gone forever. Well, come to find out, all of a sudden, in the most random place, this ring appears. And I was just like, oh my God. But I just got chills. I just get chills just talking about it. So one of my friends, a trusted psychic medium as well, I showed her this ring and she held it and she goes, this is a spirit guide. Like this ring, this was a spirit guide that came in for you so many years ago. And so, items that we find, sometimes items that you find like that tourmaline that you had, this ring, that's just another like sign from, your angels or your guides. I think it's so cool. No, I don't think about stuff like that. But there's a reason why this ring never left me. It wasn't meant to be lost. And it's a ring that I always wear. Anytime I do energy work or I do any work, or I go on investigations or anything, I always keep this ring with me. It almost feels like a security blanket, like a protection.
So,
wear your ring when you get that ring. Wear it with love, because that is your spirit guide, and that is also your power source. Just want to let you know.
It's funny that you would say that would be my power source, because that's the purpose of this ring. It's a power ring.
Oh!
Think about this. Those two stones, the opal and the black tourmaline. Now, the black tourmaline is often mistaken as a black onyx. And those are the two most powerful stones for a Wiccan to ever be able to wield. And I
can't wait to see this. You're going to have to show me this piece.
And they literally have the most protective power of any of the stones that are out there for us to be able to use.
Yes. I always say everyone should have that stone. Everyone.
And I had meant to have my opal turned into a jewelry piece for the longest time. I've had it for 34 years.
Now, did you end up coming across that, or was that something that was inherited?
The opal I actually purchased when I was 18 years old from a place in California. It was a store in Fresno, California, called the Brass Unicorn.
Okay.
And at the time, now think about this, 34 years ago, I paid $20 for that opal at the time. That's a lot of money for a stone back then. But I've had that stone for 34 years.
That's awesome.
And so here, hopefully in a couple of weeks, I'll be getting my ring, and it's going to be set in sterling silver.
Oh, very cool. Yep. Silver. Yeah, you'll have to show me. Don't forget now.
Definitely.
I can't wait to see it. Like, I can only picture it in my head right now.
We'll keep in touch, and I'll show it to you. But I was just kind of wondering, because I also seen you're wearing a black ring.
Oh, so this one.
Yes.
I'm not even really sure what stone this is. It's hard to say, but I'm not sure what stone it is.
I can see that that the craftsman that made it put some facets on the top part of it. But it looks like it's beveled into the
it
ring
totally is. I don't know if you can see, but it almost has like a smoky, like a light smoky black or brown. It's hard to tell. It's like a smoky color.
Well, my perspective from this side, it looks black. So, does it have any kind of like translucence to it?
No, I don't know if you can see. It probably won't show up. There's the back of it. Let's see if it will actually. No, it won't pick up, will it?
Not certain.
Yeah. I still haven't figured out.
The reason I ask is because that could have been an Apache tear. If it has any kind, you're saying it's kind of smoky.
Yeah.
If it's got any kind of translucence to it, to like where you can see the light through it.
It does. Yeah, it does.
It could be an Apache tear.
Huh.
Apache tears are a translucent type stone, but they're the smoky darkness stones.
Yeah, that's what this looks like. And it's called what?
Apache tear.
Hold on.
What do you mean hold on?
Yeah,
we got a warning siren going off here.
Uh-oh. Hang on a second.
And it's not 12:30.
No, it's not 12:30. It's 6:45. Why would you guys have warning sirens?
It's going off.
Well,
I can't hear it, so.
I can't either.
Yeah.
it. It's going off.
I don't know. Maybe it's a test that they're doing or something. I don't.
Yeah, what are we at? It's not the first of the month.
Oh, it's Wisconsin. The weather can change any second.
Well, she lives in Minnesota. It's the same way
That
for
it
her.
can.
Same
Yeah.
way. Yeah,
Did
Have you had a lot of heavy winds lately?
yeah, it has been
Actually,
all
yeah,
day.
it's been kind of
was
windy.
supposed
They've
to be
been
50 something today, but it's only been as high as 30 something because of the wind.
no, we didn't. It was supposed to be in the 50s, but we only hit around 44, 45 degrees total.
Yeah, it's been kind of
So,
rainy and just icky. I'm so sick of the cloudiness at this point. I'm like, let's bring back the sunshine.
well, yeah, all week last week was really nice. I wore shorts.
I know, it's beautiful. It was, what, 80 one day. I'm like, what? Don't
So,
tease us, Mother Nature.
what part of Minnesota are you in?
So I'm in St. Paul.
St. Paul. Okay.
Yep. So not too far.
We got
About-
Deb's there
So
saying it's
that's
tornado
gotta be
awareness
because
week.
there is no severe weather alerts out.
No, you would get one on your cell phone if there was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it has gone
So
off.
that's probably what it is. It's probably some tests that they're doing to make
Okay,
sure
well,
things
and that
working
explains
properly.
it. Well, let's
Not
just freak
surprised
out.
something like that's happening.
Well, I'm like, wait a minute, this isn't
Well, yeah.
the
But
12:30 whistle.
so when you were saying about the big blue book,
Yeah.
now I have a big blue book. It's about that wide by about that long.
Okay.
It's Ray Buckland's Complete Guide to Witchcraft.
Yep. That's it. Yep.
Are you serious?
That's it. Yeah. It's funny because, when I see witchcraft, what do you think? Like that childhood memory comes back. So I'm like, I don't know if I want to open this. And then I open it carefully.
Oh my goodness.
And the first part, spoke to my soul. And one of the first things it says is, this is not, the kind of witchcraft that you think it is.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
It's
and I have
not.
not been able to put it down. I'm still, I think I'm about a little bit halfway through the book. So
I have mine packed away somewhere in my
Yeah.
stuff. I have to find it so I can read it again.
Right?
It was awesome to read it. It was awesome.
Yeah, I feel like it really connects for me pieces of I always used to laugh and joke, say I was a witch that was burned. Might have been, who knows? But I always joke about that, growing up and everything. And so now to, actually see the witch and, be able to understand it, do research on it, it really resonates deeply.
Yes.
I think there's others that knew that I was a witch before I knew I was a witch. I mean, I always kind of figured, I kind of always knew it was there, but, I don't go around saying, hey, I'm a witch. I had a hard enough time saying I'm a psychic medium. I'm over that now, but.
Oh, definitely. So, do you use tarots?
Yes. Yeah, that's another thing I was, let's see.
What's your favorite? I was gonna say, what's your favorite deck?
I just got a new one.
Oh, you
I'm
got the Sacred
obsessed.
Rebels Oracle.
Yes.
Nice.
I just got this a few weeks ago and I'm absolutely obsessed. But I'm a big fan of Doreen Virtue, and my first set was actually given to me by my mentor. I call her my Earth Angel. She's the reason I'm here and, doing this work. But still, the original pack that I have that she gave me, which is like the Angels guidance cards, those are my absolute favorite. And I just love those cards. But it took me a long time. When I first opened these doors, I remember in one of my classes, my mentor sat us down and we had to do tarot readings for one another. And at first I was freaking out. I never had used a tool like this before. And for me, everything comes natural. So this was like me learning how to use a tool. And I tell you, I went completely blank. I was like, I don't think I can do this. But after I really started learning and understanding more of tarot, once again, it's just a tool. I absolutely love them. I'm more open to them now than I ever used to be.
Yeah.
What about you? Are you a tarot person?
I have a deck. It's one of the original generic decks.
Is it?
I'm actually looking to find one of the goddess decks.
Yeah. Oh,
Because
yes.
those
I
those are those are really cool. I
I
love
love
the
the original. I love the original. I'm actually like on a hunt for one too, like the original deck. But I like touching and feeling. I'm not a person that can buy like my tools and stuff online. Usually I like to touch and feel because it's an energy thing. I gotta feel connected to that piece.
Yep, yep.
Hmm.
So being over there in Minnesota, have you found any Wicca shops?
You know, Not too many, unless I have not found them yet. So I'm originally from Minneapolis. Now I live in St. Paul. So I'm still like finding new places. So do I have a place I can say I absolutely have found that I love yet? No, not necessarily. But we do have some great shops. But I haven't found a specific Wicca shop yet. But I
Okay.
have found a church. I did find a church. Hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, I have
So
not
you
found those yet though. But
okay?
I
They then that would be a stepping stone for you to be able to find some of the places around that might actually have or be a Wicca shop.
Ooh, let me look for that. I never even thought about that, just looking specifically for a Wiccan shop.
Yeah.
You have the I never even thought about that. I'm gonna look at
Well,
that up.
there is one here in Madison that is called Cosmic Delights,
Ooh, that's a fun name.
and
Let
yeah,
me guess. It's on University Avenue.
nope,
Or just off.
nope, it's over at East Side Shops.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh,
Oh, like
Yep.
university here in Minnesota.
No, no,
Okay, we have a
university here in
university too.
Madison.
All right, all right.
Yeah. And then in Janesville, Wisconsin, there's a place called Earth Song Bookstore.
Ooh,
They also have Wicca stuff and crystals.
okay. I just went to a store a few weeks ago with my daughter. Oh gosh, I'm probably gonna say the name wrong, but Precious. It's like a Precious Moments, but not the little toys or the knickknacks, but actual store. And I love them. It's a big bookstore, but they have a huge herb section. I mean, wall to wall herb section,
Hmm.
and it's a really cool place. I kind of got more of a Wicca vibe there,
You
but I don't
may
think
you
it's
may be.
specifically Wicca.
Well,
Yeah.
it depends also too. Some of those stores depends on what kind of music they have playing, and also if they burn the incense or not.
Mhm. Mhm. Yep. Yeah.
Sandalwood is one of the really good ones.
Oh, I love sandalwood. Love sandalwood. Actually, I was just burning that a little bit ago. Love it.
Yep.
Mhm.
Actually, if you get like the cones, the sandalwood,
Yeah.
the cones, take a little bit of cinnamon and drop on top of that before you light it.
Ooh, that's a good
why?
idea. I haven't tried that one.
What,
Why?
So
Joe?
do you make
Why?
your own? Have you ever tried making your own incense sticks?
No, no.
I've
But I,
recently
I
been
used to
looking
make
that
I
up.
used to make my own oils.
I do. Yeah, I make a lot of stuff, my own
Yeah,
stuff, and I just love it. But I don't.
I take
I'm the
extra virgin olive
DIY
oil.
craft witch.
What do you mean, why, Joe?
Why the cinnamon?
It adds a
Yeah,
little
why
bit
the
of
cinnamon?
it adds a little bit of smell into the air with it. It gives you that little bit of
I don't know if
a
I would like that with
difference.
sandalwood. I like the
Oh,
sandalwood. Like,
Sandalwood's nice, but if you put I'm not talking a lot. I mean, just a
just a
tad,
little.
just a like a tiny sprinkle. It's
Oh.
just a hint enough to throw that extra smell in there.
So are you a big like spells, witch ritual type of person?
Not really, no.
Okay. Yep.
I'm more of try to sense things that are there,
Me too.
and that's why when we do go on investigations and stuff, I try to be more verbal and talk to any entity that might be there.
Yep.
So
Yeah. So what
when
got, so what got you both into the paranormal? Starting with you on the right. My right.
you're right, that would be me.
Yeah, be you. Let's start here.
Well, considering the fact that I'm the only male in my on my mom's side of the family that's ever exhibited having this gift,
Huh. Interesting.
But no, like I said, I grew up as a Pentecost in a Pentecost family. I can't say I was a Pentecost. I grew up in the family, um, and we went to church all the damn time. I hated it. But I got more interested in the aspect of knowing when things were around me
Hmm.
and knowing that there were other realms, other spirits and everything. And a few things that's happened in my life has really pinpointed that it's real for me because my uncle stayed with us for about a year. Um, it pretty much his last year in life. And he had a massive coronary, and my dad found him. He was on our back step. Called the ambulance. Ambulance shows up, and of course, the alternator goes crap on the ambulance when they show up. And we're out in the middle of the country,
Hmm.
so they're driving him back to the hospital on battery juice.
Wow.
So when they got him there, they got him kept alive for about 3 days, and he passed on. Well, about a month and a half after that, me and my dad both saw him walk past the front window of the house.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, and my dad freaked out. Me, I was like, yeah, man, it's just Uncle Luther." So,
Wow.
I've always had an interest in it mostly.
Uh,
So, listening to the stories my mom told me and everything, and then of course when I was 8 years old, I did something stupid. I used a Ouija board solo.
yeah. How did
Yeah,
that go?
it was a very interesting. During the use of it, I could feel that the temperature around me went up about 15 degrees.
Yeah.
Um, and then I started sweating profusely. And the last thing it said to me, it wanted to take me to hell with it.
Oh wow.
And I
Yeah.
didn't. I didn't use the board after that.
Yep.
I,
Have
it,
you ever touched one since?
oh yeah, I've got two of them.
Okay.
They don't. They
Somehow
don't.
you got over that.
They don't scare me. See that's the weird thing. The
Hmm.
Ouijas don't scare me. I I think I've experienced so much in life that I'm jaded to a lot of things.
Yep. That's how I
Um,
feel. Hmm.
when I was dating the, the Hispanic girl,
Hmm.
there's a park in the little town that I lived in. We used to go like 11, 12 o'clock at night, and this park is notorious for shadow creatures.
Mm.
You could literally see the shadow people running around out there. And there
Wow.
was one of them that wasn't a shadow; it was a white creature, and it would hide behind trees that a normal human could not hide behind because the trees were too small.
Mm.
But this thing was like normal human size.
Okay.
And you'd see it every now and then whenever it'd hide, it'd peek around the edge of the or around behind the tree and stare at you.
Hmm.
Stuff like that. And then I got in a fight with her one day and I got mad. I walked out the front door, sat on the front stoop, and I'm sitting there, and then all of a sudden on my right, this enormous shadow, as a shadow figure or shadow person or something, just like looked like he just came right up out of the ground and stood straight up.
Wow.
It was about
And you
9 feet
physically
tall.
saw this?
Yes, I
Wow.
physically saw this, and I
Hmm.
sat there. I looked at it. I just did one of these. I was like, I watch it get up. I go, okay. I get up real slowly. I walk in the door, close the door, go in and lay down on the bed, and didn't say a word. She's like, "What's wrong?" and I
Nothing.
and I didn't tell her what happened until the following day.
Wow. Wow. Very
So
cool.
it's just stuff like that has jaded me. That's
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons I don't have the flight response whenever
Hmm.
it comes to certain things.
Yep. Yep. And
So
having experiences, I mean, that makes you a believer for
yeah,
sure.
well
It
yeah,
sounds like from a very young age, you've been like myself, very sensitive to energy.
oh yeah,
Hmm.
very much
Hmm.
so.
Yeah.
And my daughter's the same damn way.
Oh yeah, I believe this stuff is passed down. I have three daughters myself, and they all have gifts in some way. So I really truly believe these things are passed down. I look
Yeah.
at my mother, I look at my grandmother, for example. They definitely had gifts, but they were very hush hush about it. You know. So
Yeah.
interesting. Well, thanks for sharing.
Oh, thanks for asking.
So what about you?
Your
What
turn,
got
Joe.
you?
What got me into doing what we do?
What got you into the paranormal?
Oh, I've always had an interest in it.
Have you?
I just because it's unanswered questions. It's like
Yeah.
I started out young, kind of interested in, the unsolved mysteries, crimes,
Me
looking for
too. That was my
answers,
favorite show.
solve the puzzles before they did, or, you know,
Yeah.
things like that. But then I truly started believing in a lot of things after I faced death in the face a few times.
Yes. Oh, yes.
I literally got into a car accident once that should have taken my life because I was thrown from the car through the windshield, and it
Wow.
should have taken my life, but it didn't. Um, and then I had leukemia in '95,
Wow.
and the doctor said I wasn't going to live to see Christmas that year. And before they could even um, decide what to do, because my white blood cell count was way too high, and it was dangerously high. Before they could decide what to do, I basically flatlined, and they had to do the paddles to bring me back like 4 or 5 times, so,
Wow. Yep, it was not your time to go. Now, can
no.
I ask you, when you had that experience, after that experience, did you find like your senses were heightened? Like your gifts were kind of activated? Or you had a more sensitivity to energy or anything?
Well, when it happened, I do remember kind of also having the out of body experience where I kinda saw and heard what was going on when I was flatlined, and them using the paddles on me, what they were saying, what was being said out in the hallway about my mom, because she had heart issues at that time,
Okay.
and so they had to give her a shot and something else and try to sedate her to, because she was, like, in such a panic state.
Mhm.
She was having a very severe panic attack, and they had to calm her
Yeah.
down quickly.
Wow.
And I do remember that, but after that and before this, well, before it, I used to be able to get these feelings when, something bad was gonna happen, and what I mean by bad is, um, somebody was gonna get hurt pretty bad or pass away.
So premonition,
But
premonitions are enough.
I wasn't able to, um, say who it was or any
Mhm.
clue. I just would say something bad's gonna happen, and then within a day or so, there's the phone call,
Yeah.
that you don't want.
Yeah.
After the leukemia, it got to a point where I can narrow it down to people, and I haven't been wrong since.
Yeah.
And although now I've kinda isolated myself to a very small circle of friends and moved away from Madison, so
Okay.
I don't have to worry about those anymore. I don't get them as often because I'm not contacting or in contact with a lot of people all the time.
That's good.
'Cause it's
I
always
also hold a
somebody
very
I'm
small
close to.
circle.
Well,
Mhm.
it's always somebody I was close to, and the thing was, after the leukemia, I saw so much death and heard the death rattle so many times in such a small period of time.
Mhm.
It started out with my uncle one of my uncles committing suicide, and another one just, passing away. Then it
Mhm.
was an aunt, and then it was, an ex-girlfriend, the mother of my youngest daughter before she was even 9 years old.
Wow.
Then it was my dad and my stepfather, you
So a
know
lot of loss.
yeah,
Mhm.
all in a very short period of time.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Sorry to hear. Why?
So, after all of that, and then losing my mother of all people, who is my rock, the person that I got the Manson joke from, because I used to take her around because I was the only one out of the 2 sons she had. I was the only one that played dope for the most.
Mhm.
She turned over and looked at me one day, and she's like, "You kinda look like Charles Manson." I was like, "Thanks a lot, Mom." But I've had fun with it ever since.
Oh, I bet. Oh. That's interesting. Well, thank you for sharing. So interesting. And what you said about when you flatline, you remember your experience being under. I remember mine too. I actually, when I ended up flatlining, I remember it was like I was like a fly on the wall watching
Yeah,
myself,
yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, it was something like that, and it's hard to explain because,
Yeah.
everything was really weird, but it's like, are you dreaming? Is this real? But then you get out of it, and yeah, my brother and my dad were like sitting there in the room bawling,
Mhm.
and all of that was said was going on. So
Oh. Well, you survived for a reason. Said that we're coming in a time when we have these gifts and abilities, especially at this time. We are meant to do something with these gifts and abilities, whatever that is for you. But you are obviously here, still here for a reason.
Mhm.
And
yeah, I don't think I'm ever gonna die.
yeah,
I should have died in the car accident. I should have, died with the leukemia. I
mhm.
was even after the bone marrow transplant. That was only supposed to give me 10 years, and it's been over 20.
Wow.
You
So
know,
you're literally like a walking miracle.
well, he calls me a Twinkie.
He calls you what?
I call him Twinkie.
Oh, Twinkie.
Well, everybody always jokes about the shelf life of a Twinkie being a million years.
Jeez. Oh.
So I call it. I just out of the blue, just for kind of a fun thing, just called him Twinkie one day, and I'll be damned if it didn't stick.
That's how it happens.
And it was just to pick at him a little bit. That's all it was.
Yeah. No, it's good
Unmute
to
if
have
you're
those
gonna talk,
connections.
Joe.
All right, there's enough of the Twinkie thing, okay?
Moving
Um,
on.
Hey, I didn't say anything till you did.
yeah, here's something else for you that I've experienced, and I
Yeah.
haven't shared this before until now. So
Ooh.
I've had these experiences, and you know where it's kind of like deja vu, but the wrong time period.
Mm. Interesting.
Like almost the same conversation, or I know this person, but the time period doesn't fit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a previous life
Okay.
come through or something.
So
You know,
like
how
you meet them in this lifetime, but yet you feel like,
I've known them from somewhere else, and then somewhere along the line, it'll hit me, or I'll
mm-hmm.
see it in like a dream, but the dream is in the wrong time period. I'm not alive
Interesting.
in that time period myself. I mean, my physical being, it's like I'm living here and it's 1990 something, but I'm in, 1800s,
Yeah.
or,
Interesting.
the old West, you know.
Interesting. So that past life connection. I feel like sometimes when we meet people in this lifetime and we meet them and you just have this deeper soul connection to someone. There's certain people I've met in my life, and I'm pretty sure that we had past lives together, even though I don't remember that stuff. There is, when you have that feeling with someone in this lifetime, there is, I feel like sometimes it's connected to like a past life connection. It's so fascinating. So
Anything's
fascinating.
anything's possible. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it almost sounds like you're also connecting to some of your past lives.
Yeah.
possibility.
I don't know. It's just, it's some things that's happened I can't explain.
like you mentioned the cowboy. So have you always been like throughout your life, have you always been kind of drawn to like cowboy movies or stuff like that by chance?
Oh yeah, I grew up
Hmm.
watching Maverick, Gunsmoke. I've
Yep.
got cowboy boots. I've got the long duster type jackets, that you've seen them wearing in Tombstone.
Yes. Oh,
I've
Tombstone.
got,
Have you ever been to Tombstone?
no, I'd like to go though. And I've got two cowboy hats sitting in bags up here so they don't get dust.
So there you go, cowboy connection.
But I mean, there's just it's strange. Some things just happen. I don't know.
It is. It's very strange. Some things it's hard to, explain or to put into words too.
Right.
Some things are just unexplainable.
But anyway, I think we're hitting that top of the hour, aren't we? We
Yes, we
started
are.
late though.
Time goes by so fast.
No, but we started
Well,
a little late.
stick around for about another 15 minutes after we're done. We can do a bonus footage if you want.
I gotta set
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. I can stick around for a few minutes. Hmm. At some point, we're thinking about walking the dog.
Yeah, yeah. Dog can wait. No.
Right? Just run around like a nut. I'm surprised he hasn't come up yet.
Is that the pit bull that I see in your picture?
Yes. Yeah, that's my Duke. Yeah, he's yeah, he feels like human. He's like human spirit in a dog body. He's
Hmm.
just something else. But yeah, he's a
It's
baby.
like it's like Jasmine. Ours is she's a quarter lab, 3/4 alligator pit,
Oh.
and she is adorable.
Oh.
And that's
No, is that
Joe's
your doggy?
puppy. That's Joe's
Great.
puppy.
I
That's
love that you
Joy.
just change your background like that. That's so awesome.
That's Joy. And
Oh.
actually we call her Timber Joy. She kind of looks like a timber wolf. She's the closest thing to a wolf that you can
Oh,
have.
what kind of dog?
She's a purebred Siberian Husky.
Oh, wow. Beautiful.
And in that picture, she's probably 2 years old, and she's now 3.
Oh.
Oh,
No. So cute. I
and
love
she's
I love dogs.
stubborn because she's queen of the house.
Oh, I
She's
bet.
the top dog. She's the only dog here, and she is very stubborn and yeah, very
Stubborn
stubborn
my butt.
and
She's
spoiled.
she's just she thinks she's entitled to everything.
She is.
Oh, yeah. I
All
love
right,
dogs.
before he hits the stop button, is there anything you want to plug
Um, well, I have
for
some
our
things
live
coming up,
session?
so there's not too much. But I do have a Facebook page. That's what psychic mediums, mystical beings support group. So if anyone's interested in that, we can add. I can actually, resend you that link. But that's a
Okay.
Facebook. That's a good place to connect with me now. I will have, like I said, I will be having a Patreon website coming soon, still under construction. So at this time, I don't have a lot to share other than if you want a community, I'm, building a community of Facebook for people that are interested in all things paranormal, like a support network for people like us, like-minded people to come together. So
It's
if you're
always a good,
interested, I invite you to join us.
awesome.
Yeah.
That is always a good place to be.
Absolutely. Now in my life, I connect to the people that are my people, and I love meeting new people, that are also like-minded people. It just makes a difference.
Yeah, it
Those
does.
are my people, and that's the environment that I want to create. So, yeah. So very nice. Thank you so much for having me on tonight.
Oh
It was a
yeah.
lot of fun talking with you guys. Really appreciate it.
Oh, there's great meeting you. I remember stick around for a couple of minutes.
I sure will.
Don't forget to check us out, utterlyinsaneproductions.com. And this Friday, our guest, and I'm not going to try to pronounce her last name, but her first name's Alex, and they're from a group called Paranormal Kicks Cancer. So it should be an interesting evening there. And don't forget to watch us on paraflex.com. You can find the link to subscribe on our website. And we're out of here. So stay safe. And remember, anything's possible.